Alrighty, hi folks, I am Becky with Enduring Finances. Welcome back to our channel. If this is your first time joining us, I hope you enjoy my personal update for the month of February. So I would have to say, from a personal and business standpoint, February was a really hard month for me. I really struggled to essentially have self-confidence in my business and what I was doing and if it was actually going to work out. We all have those moments of doubt, and I think February was a very big doubt month for me. I think it's relatively easy for someone to start a business and get it kind of moving forward, but I think it's very difficult to start a business that is going to make a actual return and last for a long period of time. And I think a lot of people don't understand the full aspect of what you're undertaking with that. So it's been a little bit of a heavy month for me, but we're moving forward. I'm incredibly stubborn and I have nothing but high expectations for how the finance site is going to go, how I might be able to improve this YouTube channel, how my photography is going, and all of that. So I continually go back to the phrase, it's not if, it's when, and that can depend a lot on when you hit your break and when you essentially start making money. So I think one of the most important things is to keep in mind that it's really easy to compare yourself and your business to those that are in your same area, your competitors, and you need to do that in certain aspects. You need to understand how they're able to target their audience effectively and what's working, and you can learn a lot by comparing yourself to them. But I think you have to do it in a way where you understand that their resources and tools and what challenges them are different than what challenge you individually. So I know quite a few other people that run a YouTube channel and a finance website, and they're not doing all the same things that I'm doing. And what I mean by that is they're paying people to write content for their website. I'm writing everything myself. They might have a video editor or someone that actually records their videos. I do that all myself. They might have a social media manager who posts stuff on Pinterest and Instagram and Pinterest and Facebook and Twitter and all that, and I am trying to manage that slightly on my own. And so I've got a lot of moving pieces that some other people, not all, some other people in this area don't focus on, and they kind of narrow in on what's working. And so that's something that I have to be mindful of. I'm going a longer approach to get to the same place, but potentially could have higher rewards for what I'm doing. I think ultimately my goals have not changed. I want the finance website to be a free resource for people to learn and grow from, and I'm going to continue moving forward with that. I have absolutely no desire whatsoever to stop doing that. I just have to remember to focus on the aspects that I can control within my own situation and do as best as I can every single time that I do something. So let's move on to some of the positive things from February, because it wasn't a bad month, it was just a hard month. So I was actually able to go to, so I don't know if you remember last month, but I was talking about going to a photography event with a very, very well accomplished photographer who did a trip through Iceland, and that kind of happened, sort of. I kind of got distracted, so I wanted to stop at a wildlife refuge, a migratory bird wildlife refuge that was on the way. And I ended up spending way more time there than I kind of anticipated, and I actually missed the actual photography event. So, oopsies, but I still had a very good time. I was able to get a couple of good shots, and I primarily wanted to go see the bald eagles that were in season there, and I was able to see one. It was very, very far away, and even with my telephoto lens, I could not get very quality images of it because I have limitations with my camera equipment. But that was fun. I'm glad that I went, and I'm sad that I missed the event, but I still had fun. And then you probably noticed a couple weeks ago we got the first episode of the podcast Careers at a Glance out and running. I've got the podcast is distributed on Spotify, it's on Amazon Music, you can get to it on Reason. I'm having issues with iTunes. For some reason there is a very big delay on them approving the channel and pushing it out, and that will like trickle down into some of the other various like podcast platforms that people listen to. So there's a delay on that. We're getting that fixed, trying to get that fixed. I've already recorded the second episode. We are waiting to push that out probably closer to the end of the month, and I'll probably do one podcast a month for the first little while until I kind of work out all the fine tunings and make sure it's running smoothly before we try and push that up to 2 podcast episodes a month. And one of the fun things that happened was I got a phone call saying that my mother had found a piano in a thrift store that was in very good condition, and she knew that I had been working off of a very cheap keyboard setup that was not very good. And so she was like, "Do you want this?" And I was like, "Yes, like I want a piano. Like I want to continue to learn to play the piano and become better at the piano." So now I have a piano in my house. I have been practicing on it, and Jackson has been enjoying that. He will sit next to me every time I play on the piano. And then as far as my biggest goal for this year, which is weight loss and getting healthy, I lost just under 4 pounds this month, and I think that's okay. Last month we hit 10-pound loss, which was a huge number. I did work on adjusting the number of calories that I was eating, and had a couple of days where I ate way more than I should have. Cookie dough, Super Bowl, stuff like that. But I still think it was a really good month. I lost over an inch on my waist, on my hips, on both of my thighs, my arms. So my entire body decreased by about an inch in diameter, and I hit a total of 30 pounds lost over the entire time that I've been doing this. And so I think that we are still on the right path, and the scale does not show everything. You should look for other things to measure how your weight loss and your healthy transformation is going. So just to give you a brief overview of my stock market portfolio and how it did this month, I do plan on trying out a new video where I break down all of the dividends that I get every month, and trying to kind of go another avenue to show people what dividends I'm getting from what companies on what dates, and how they can watch their own portfolio grow over time the same way in a more direct aspect rather than including it in here. So I'll still briefly touch on it in my personal updates, and we'll try this out for a while. But I think that's my goal for trying to kind of expand that out a little bit further. My portfolio ended up, so let me look. So it closed out February. My stock portfolio dropped down to $30,141.53. I have $45.66 in cash ready to reinvest into the stock of my choice. And then my lending club portfolio has also dropped down to below 200. It is at $188.90. And so our total current investments of right now is $30,376.09. And we will continue to see that stock portfolio increase and my lending club decrease until we hit that zero. So in February, I received $3.21 in interest from the lending club, and then had a pretty low month for dividends, coming in at $66.58. Now remember, my dividends are typically paid out quarterly, and so there's going to be lower months and higher months, but the average overall is about $86 from what I'm seeing. As far as side hustles go, and I'm going to call them side hustles because that's what they are, I I'm going to expand a little bit more on this category and kind of include the dividends that I'm receiving as a passive income source, and then continue to find ways that I can increase the amount of money that is coming in, because money is an issue for everybody and it is an issue for me. So we had a return on all of our investments between the Lending Club and dividends at $69.79. I donated plasma four times and came in with $330 for that. And then I started charging Lime scooters again. The weather's getting nicer. And I came in with $62.74 off of Lime scooters and made $0 off of my stock photography, but did not put in any additional effort this month, so I am not surprised. So we came in for a total of $462.53. So the idea is, once I get to a point where I'm able to pay all my bills, I will turn that and invest it into assets like my dividend portfolio, where I can earn passive income or residual income, depending how you look at it, for the remainder of my life, and won't have to worry about continuing to chase after the money. So something that I earned a little bit of money off of in February that I don't consider a side hustle was like selling personal items. And so I had a friend reach out. They wanted me to essentially assist them, help them sell a couple of things while they're getting ready to move, and they insisted that I take a portion of the sales for that for my time. And so, of course, I obliged. I tried to convince them not to give me anything, but, well, I conceded. And so we ended up selling some of their stuff for a profit of about $100. And so I made about $50 off of that. And then at the same time, I knew that there were some things in the house that I needed to sell. And so I went ahead and sold some of the stuff that I've had in the front yard that I've been wanting to sell. The flower bed, like rock decor thingies, and then some like cement blocks that are like the retaining walls. And so I came in with a pretty good profit of about $100 off of those just by themselves. And I don't categorize it as a side hustle because it's not something that I can like go back out and do again. Like, I couldn't go sell those same items again because I no longer have them. And you can only sell so much of what you have before you run out. And so if you wanted it to be a side hustle or something that had reoccurring amounts, you would have to actively be searching out things that you could resell, either like refurbishing or, you know, finding it a better deal and selling for a profit, to have that in what I would consider a side hustle. So not too bad of a month. Hopefully March is going to be a higher month. I think the weather is going to start picking up very nicely, and I will continue to do scooters and donating plasma and kind of try my hand at some other things and see what happens. So I think that is it. I think I've talked your ear off enough. Hopefully March is good. I think it's going to be great. And yeah, I'll see you next time, guys.